Winners do not think like everyone else. They do not speak like everyone else. They do not carry themselves like the average person. There's something different about them, something in the way they think, the way they speak, the way they move through the world. And that difference, that is what separates success from failure. It's what determines who rises and who stays stuck. Winning begins in the mind, long before success shows up in your bank account, your career, or your life. It starts in how you think. Winners train their minds for success. They refuse to let negativity take hold. They don't waste time on doubt, fear, or limitations. Instead, they focus on solutions, on possibilities, on ways to win no matter what. They see challenges differently. They see failure differently. And because of that, they move through life with a confidence and certainty most people never develop. But it's not just how they think, it's how they speak. The words they use, the way they talk to themselves, the way they communicate with the world, all of it reinforces their mindset. Their language is precise, powerful, intentional. They don't speak weakness. They don't complain. They don't make excuses. They speak in ways that attract success, command respect, and push things forward instead of holding them back. Most people never realize that their thoughts and words shape their reality. They think small, so they stay small. They speak from doubt, so they create more doubt. They focus on limitations, so they remain limited. But winners, they think big. They speak powerfully. They train themselves to eliminate weak language, to remove negative thinking, to align their mind and their words with the life they want to create. This isn't about fake confidence. It's not empty motivation. It's about rewiring yourself from the inside out, shifting how you see the world, how you talk about your life, how you think about your future. Because the truth is, you will never rise above the level of your thoughts and words. If your mind is weak, your life will reflect that. If your words are weak, your results will be weak. But if you develop the mental discipline of a winner, if you train yourself to speak with power and certainty, your life will transform faster than you ever imagined. So the question is, are you ready to start thinking and talking like a winner? Because once you do, once you fully commit to changing the way you operate, there's no limit to how far you can go. The way you think determines everything. Before a single word leaves your mouth, before you take a single action, your mind has already set the course. Winners understand this. They know success starts with their internal dialogue, with how they process challenges, with how they interpret the world. They don't let negativity take root. They don't allow fear to dictate their actions. They guard their thoughts with discipline because they know their mind is either working for them or against them. Most people have no control over their thoughts. They let whatever enters their mind dictate how they feel, how they act, how they respond to life. They don't realize that every thought they allow in their head is either making them stronger or weaker. Because they don't control their thinking, they live in reaction mode, reacting to circumstances, reacting to problems, reacting to the opinions of others. But winners are different. They take full control of their thoughts. They decide what to focus on. They choose to think in ways that support their goals. This is where the shift begins. If you want to think like a winner, you must train yourself to focus on what matters. You must develop the habit of directing your mind toward solutions, not problems, toward possibilities, not limitations. Most people get stuck because they dwell on what's wrong. They fixate on obstacles. They let fear dominate their thoughts. But winners have trained themselves to look at every situation and ask, how can I win here? What is the next move? Where's the opportunity in this challenge? This isn't about ignoring reality. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about developing the mental toughness to see the bigger picture. It's about refusing to let problems break you. It's about looking at setbacks as setups for comebacks. When most people would quit, winners see a way forward. When others say this is too hard, winners say this is where I grow. This mindset extends to everything: work, relationships, health, every aspect of life. Winners don't see effort as something to avoid. They see it as the price of success. They don't wait for motivation. They do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. They understand action creates motivation, not the other way around. Most people wait until they feel ready. Winners know waiting is just another form of losing. And the difference is visible in how winners carry themselves. You can see it in their eyes. You can hear it in their voice. They don't speak in doubt. They don't second guess themselves. They have trained their minds to move with certainty. This isn't arrogance. It's clarity. They know the only way to win is to decide to win, and once they make that decision, they don't waste time questioning it. This is where most people fail. They hesitate, they overthink, they let doubt creep in. And every time they hesitate, they reinforce the idea that they're not ready, not capable, not good enough. But winners eliminate hesitation. They trust themselves. They make decisions with confidence. Because of that, they move faster, execute more, and achieve more in a lifetime than most people do. And this is where the way you talk comes in, because your words reinforce your thoughts. The way you speak to yourself, the way you describe your life, the way you talk about your goals, it all programs your mind to either push forward or hold back. Most people sabotage themselves with their own words. They say things like, I'm not good at this, I'm not lucky, this always happens to me, and every time they say it, they make it true. They're training their brain to believe their own limits. But winners do the exact opposite. They use their words to build themselves up. They speak in strength. They speak in power. They don't use weak language. They don't talk about what they can't do, they talk about what they will do. Instead of saying, I hope I can succeed, they say, I'm going to find a way to succeed. Instead of, I'm bad at this, they say, I'm improving every day. Instead of, I don't know what to do, they say, I will figure it out. And this is not just motivation, this is reprogramming your mind. The more you speak with power, the more your brain believes it. The more you reinforce confidence, the more you feel it, the more you speak in terms of action, the more action you take. That's why winners are deliberate with their words. They don't say what they don't want to be true. They don't joke about their weaknesses. They don't speak in ways that make themselves smaller. Everything they say aligns with who they're becoming, and the results undeniable. When you think like a winner and speak like a winner, you start to become a winner. Your actions change. Your results change. Your life changes because now your mind and your words are working for you, not against you. The way you talk doesn't just influence your mind, it shapes how the world responds to you. Winners understand that communication is power. The way you speak, the words you choose, the energy behind your voice, it all signals to the world who you are. In life, you don't get what you want, you get what you communicate. If you speak with confidence, if you express yourself with authority, if your words carry weight, people will listen. Opportunities will come to you. Success will follow. But if you speak with doubt, if you hesitate, if your words are weak, the world will overlook you. Most people don't get this. They think communication is just talking. But winners know communication is commanding attention. It's influencing. It's making people believe in you, trust you, follow you. And to do that, you must speak like someone who deserves to be heard. Your voice must carry certainty. Your words must be sharp, intentional, and direct. Every sentence must reinforce that you know what you're talking about. Winners eliminate weak language. They don't say, I think, I hope, or maybe. They don't weaken their statements with unnecessary words. They don't apologize for having an opinion. They don't speak in ways that invite doubt. Instead of, I think this might work, they say, this is what we're going to do. Instead of, I hope this turns out well, they say, I will make this work. Instead of, maybe I can do it, they say, I will find a way. And this shift changes everything. When you speak like a winner, people take you seriously. They respect you. They listen when you talk. They trust your judgment. But more importantly, you start to trust yourself. The more you communicate with confidence, the more confidence you build. The more you eliminate hesitation from your words, the more decisive you become. And when you're decisive, you move faster. You take more action. You create better results. But this isn't just about cutting out weak language. It's about adding strength to your words. Winners speak with precision. They say exactly what they mean. They don't ramble or over-explain. They don't fill the air with unnecessary noise. Every sentence is deliberate. Every statement is clear. They don't just talk, they deliver. This is why winners master the power of silence. Most people talk too much because they're uncomfortable with pauses. They rush to fill space. They speak before thinking, and in doing so, they weaken their presence. Winners, they know silence is power. They know a well-timed pause carries more weight than 100 unnecessary words. They take their time. They let their words land. They make people listen. And it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. your tone, your pace, your delivery. It all matters. Winners don't speak too fast. They don't mumble. They don't shrink their voice. They project. They articulate. They make every word count. They know when they speak, they're sending a message not just with words, but with their entire presence. And this is where most people fail. They don't realize their voice is a tool. They don't train it. They don't refine it. They don't practice delivering their ideas. And because of that, they miss opportunities, get ignored in conversations, fail to make an impact. Winners treat communication like a skill, one to sharpen every day. They listen to themselves. They study great communicators. They practice until their words carry certainty. And it doesn't stop with speaking. The way winners communicate in writing, in emails, in negotiations, in every interaction, all reflects the same confidence. They don't send weak messages. They don't sound unsure. They don't beg for opportunities. Instead, they position themselves as the answer, as valuable, as capable, as the kind of person who gets things done. That's why winners are careful with their words. They don't focus on problems, they focus on solutions. They don't talk about limits, they talk about possibilities. They don't complain, they take action. And because of that, their words attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right results. Most people never realize how much their words shape their reality. They complain about what they don't have, and they create more lack. They talk about what they cannot do, and in doing so, they reinforce their own limitations. They speak from a place of fear, and their lives reflect it. But winners speak from a place of power. They talk about what they're building, what they're creating, what they're making happen. Because of that, their lives move in that very direction. And here's the truth. Anyone can do this. Anyone can change the way they speak. Anyone can train themselves to communicate like a winner. It's not about where you come from. It's not about natural talent. It's about deliberate practice. It's about paying attention how you speak, how you express yourself, how you carry yourself in conversation. Commit to improving this skill, and you will see transformation in every area of your life. Winners don't just think differently. They don't just act differently. They speak differently, and that difference sets them apart from the rest of the world. Thinking and talking like a winner isn't just confidence. It's alignment. It's making sure that what you think, what you say, and what you do are all pulling in the same direction. Most people live in contradiction. They think about success but speak in fear. They set goals but voice limitations. They dream of winning, yet their words drip with excuses. And because of that, their actions never line up with their ambitions. But winners, everything is in sync. Their mindset is strong. Their words reinforce that mindset. And their actions follow through with power and certainty. This is why self-awareness is crucial. Winners don't operate on autopilot. They audit themselves constantly. They listen to how they talk. They notice when negative language creeps in and they correct it immediately. They don't let weak thoughts linger in their minds. They don't let weak words escape their mouths. They catch themselves the moment excuses start, the moment hesitation creeps in, the moment anything is spoken that doesn't serve their mission. This takes discipline. Most people are careless with their words. They say things without thinking. They let emotions dictate their speech. They reinforce negativity without even realizing it. But winners are deliberate. They speak with intention. Every word either pushes them forward or pulls them back. Because they understand this, they ensure every sentence, every conversation, every thought builds them up. That's why they eliminate self-doubt from their vocabulary. Most people are their own worst enemies. They talk themselves out of opportunities before they even try. They convince themselves they're not ready, not capable, not good enough. And every time they say it, they make it more real. But winners refuse to allow that. They don't let fear dictate their language. They don't reinforce weaknesses. Instead, they reframe everything in a way that serves them. Faced with a challenge, most say, I don't know if I can do this. Winners say, I will figure this out. When things go wrong, most say, this always happens to me. Winners say, this is a lesson that will make me stronger. When they fail, most say, I guess I'm not meant for this. Winners say, this is part of the process and I'm getting better every time. This shift in language creates unstoppable confidence. The truth is, every time you speak, you reinforce something. You program your mind either to believe in yourself or to doubt yourself. Allow negative language to take hold, and you create a reality where failure feels inevitable. But train yourself to speak like a winner, and you start believing in your ability at levels most never reach. This belief affects everything: your ability to lead, to influence, to stay motivated even when the road is tough. Because winners don't keep this mindset to themselves, they use it to elevate everyone around them. They speak life into others. They uplift their teams, their friends, their families. They bring energy into every room they enter. They make people believe in what's possible, and because of that, success follows them effortlessly. This is why communication is a leadership skill. How you speak shapes how people see you. It determines if they trust you, follow you, want to be near you. Weak language repels opportunity. Strong language attracts it. Winners are intentional about how they show up in every conversation. They don't speak just to fill space. They speak to add value. They listen closely. They choose their words with precision. They make sure every conversation leaves an impact. They don't waste time on gossip, complaining, or meaningless chatter. They speak with purpose. When they talk, people listen. And here's where most get it wrong. They think confidence is about talking more. But winners know true confidence is about speaking less and making every word count. It's knowing you don't need to prove yourself with excess words. It's letting your presence, your clarity, your certainty speak louder than any empty speech ever could. That's why winners develop a commanding presence. When they walk into a room, people notice they know because they're loud, but because they carry themselves with certainty. Their posture, their tone, their eye contact will reinforce that they're in control. This presence, it's built through thinking and talking like a winner every single day. It's not instant. It's a skill, a habit, something refined over time. But once mastered, once you train yourself to think and speak in alignment with success, you become unstoppable. You become the person who naturally attracts opportunities, commands respect, and walks into any situation knowing you belong. And that is what separates winners from everyone else, and not just talent or luck, but the ability to think and communicate in a way that creates success before it even happens. Thinking and talking like a winner is not just about confidence or communication. It's about reinventing yourself, becoming someone who operates on a whole new level. It's about breaking free from the old patterns of thought and speech that have kept you stuck. It's about raising every part of how you engage with life. Winners don't just rise to the top by accident. They build themselves from the inside out. They create a mindset so powerful that failure is nothing more than a temporary setback. They develop a way of speaking so strong their words inspire movement, influence, and action. This is why winners are deliberate about who they allow to influence their thoughts and words. Most people let their environment control how they think. They absorb negativity from those around them. They mirror the language of mediocrity. They listen to people who have never reached what they want and allow those opinions to shape their mindset. But winners guard their minds like a fortress. They don't let weak thinking in. They refuse to entertain negativity. They don't take advice from those who aren't where they want to be. Because of this, their mindset is unshakable. They surround themselves with strong thinkers, high-level communicators, people who reinforce their vision. They ensure their conversations are productive, that the people around them are solution-focused, and their circle is full of those who push them forward instead of holding them back. They know the fastest way to destroy a winning mindset is to let it be infected by the doubts, fears, and small thinking of others. And this is where most people fail. They don't protect their minds. They let negativity creep in. They allow weak conversations to drain their energy. They spend time with people who don't challenge them to grow and then wonder why their thinking stays stuck, why they can't break through to the next level of success. Winners take full responsibility for their mental environment. They curate their influences carefully. They listen to powerful ideas. They study the language of success. They condition their minds daily to think at the highest level. And the impact shows in how they carry themselves. Winners radiate certainty. They enter every situation knowing they belong. They don't wait for permission. They don't seek approval. They don't hope things work out. They make things happen. This mindset allows them to take risks others won't dare to take. It keeps them calm under pressure while others fall apart. It lets them execute with precision while others hesitate. And it's all reinforced through language. Winners don't just think success, they speak it into existence. They verbalize their confidence. They affirm their goals. They use their words to shape their reality. They say things like, I will figure it out. I always find a way. Everything is working in my favor. Because they say it so often, their brain starts to believe it. Their subconscious begins to operate at that level. Soon their actions align with the words they speak. Most people never understand this power. They think words are just words. They don't realize every sentence shapes their identity. When they say, I'm bad at this, they reinforce failure. When they say, I'm always unlucky, they program themselves to expect defeat. When they say, I can't do it, they create a reality where they never even try. But winners know every word is a command to the mind. They speak only in ways that push them forward. That's why they practice verbal discipline. They don't waste time on weak conversations. They don't complain. They don't allow negative self-talk. If they catch themselves saying something that doesn't serve them, they stop immediately and reframe it. If fear arises, they speak courage to themselves. If doubt comes, they reinforce belief in their own ability. Because of this, their minds always operate from strength. Here's where most people fall short. They only practice this mindset when things go well. They think like winners when success is easy. But the moment an obstacle hits, they fall back into doubt and fear. True winners don't let circumstances dictate how they think or speak. They don't let failure break their confidence. They don't let setbacks weaken their language. They maintain the same level of certainty whether things are smooth or falling apart. This is what separates those who win once from those who keep winning. Most people can think confidently when life is easy, but winners think confidently no matter what. They talk like winners even when losing. They speak strength when everything is crumbling, because they know if fear creeps into their words, it takes over their mind, and if it takes over their mind, it takes over their results. So ask yourself, how disciplined are you with your thoughts and words? Do you let negativity slip in? Do you allow self-doubt to control your speech? Do you engage in conversations that drain your energy instead of building it? Or are you operating with the focus, clarity, and verbal discipline of a winner? If you're not intentional with your thinking and speaking, you're leaving success to chance, and winners never leave anything to chance. They train their minds every day to think at a higher level. They speak in ways that create success before it even happens. They condition their minds so deeply that when challenges come, their first instinct isn't fear, it's strategy, execution, movement. That's why no matter what happens, winners always find a way to win. Thinking and talking like a winner isn't just about personal success. It's about creating a legacy of influence, leadership, and impact. The way you think and speak doesn't just affect you, it ripples out to everyone around you. Your energy, your confidence, your belief in yourself, it all transfers to the people you interact with. Winners don't just lift themselves up, they lift everyone in their environment. They inspire action. They challenge others to think bigger. They raise the standard of what's possible. That's why they attract respect, opportunities, and success wherever they go. Most people underestimate the power of their presence. They think success is about what they do, but in truth, success is about who they are. It's the energy they bring into a room. It's how they carry themselves, how they communicate, and how they make people feel. Winners understand this deeply. They know that even before they speak, their presence already makes an impact. Their posture, their eye contact, their body language all radiate confidence, certainty, and power. And when they do speak, they reinforce that energy with words that inspire, motivate, and command respect. This is why winners develop verbal precision. They don't waste words. They don't talk just to fill silence. They speak with intention. They know their words carry weight, and they use them wisely. They know when to speak and, just as importantly, when to stay silent. They don't argue over trivial matters. They don't engage in negativity or defend themselves unnecessarily. They let their results speak, and when they do speak, people listen because their words always add value. This is why winners become masters of influence. The way they think and talk allows them to persuade, inspire, and lead without force. They don't push people to follow. They make others want to follow. Their confidence is contagious. Their belief in themselves is so strong it makes others believe in them too. That's why they negotiate better, close deals faster, build stronger relationships, and create more opportunities. Most people haven't mastered this skill. They don't realize how much influence they actually have. They think they need a title, a position, or external validation to lead. But winners know leadership starts with how they think and speak. They don't wait for permission to lead. They don't wait for someone to tell them they're capable. They decide it for themselves. Because they carry themselves like leaders, people treat them like leaders long before any official title. This is the final level of thinking and talking like a winner, understanding that your words don't just shape your life, they shape your legacy. Every great leader, every icon, every game changer in history mastered how they thought and spoke. They didn't just have ideas, they communicated those ideas in a way that moved people. They didn't just have confidence, they expressed it, so others believed in their vision. They understood that the right words, spoken at the right time with the right conviction, can change the course of history. That's why winners take full responsibility for their voice. They don't use it carelessly. They don't waste it on things that don't matter. They use it to create impact, to make a difference, to push themselves and others forward. They understand their words either build or destroy, and they choose to build. Here lies the real challenge. Will you take control of how you think and speak? Will you train yourself to operate at a higher level? Will you develop the discipline to eliminate weak language, remove self-doubt, and speak in a way that attracts success instead of repelling it? Because if you do, everything in your life will change, people will respond differently, opportunities will come faster, success will feel natural. You won't just be hoping to win, you'll be wired to win. This isn't about pretending, this isn't about fake confidence. It's about becoming someone who wins from the inside out. It's about training your mind to think in ways that make failure impossible. It's about speaking in ways that command respect, attract influence, and move you forward every single day. Winners don't just think differently. They don't just talk differently. They live differently, and now so will you. You now understand what it takes to think and talk like a winner. It's not luck. It's not waiting for the right opportunity. It's training your mind and voice to work in your favor. It's eliminating weak thoughts, removing weak language, and replacing them with the mindset and speech patterns of the most successful people in the world. This isn't a one-time act. This isn't something you do when it's convenient. This is a daily commitment. Every time you speak, every time you think, you either reinforce a winning mentality or weaken it. If you're serious about success, if you're serious about reaching your highest potential, then make this decision right now. I will take full control of my thoughts. I will take full control of my words. I will train myself to operate at the level of a winner. No exceptions, no excuses. This is how transformation happens, not by hoping, not by waiting, not by wishing things were different, but by deciding from this moment forward that you will think, speak, and act like the person you were meant to be. You will move with confidence. You will speak with power. You will eliminate hesitation, fear, and doubt, because those things have no place in the mind of a winner. And now, it's on you. Will you apply this? Will you hold yourself to this standard? Will you commit to thinking and speaking like a winner every day? Because if you do, you will become unstoppable. Opportunities will find you. Success will become inevitable. And you will look back on this moment as the turning point, the moment you decided to rise above average and step into the life you were meant to create. Winners aren't born, they're made. And now it's time for you to make yourself one.